dangerous.
Bad feeling about this.
You don't seem to understand something.
The thing that I like most about being a dad is that I see that I'm about to impact the world.
What's up? What's up? Hey, it's your boy Humble Dad back with another edition of Humble Dad Podcast. I got a short video that I want to talk about. Or in this particular video, I'm gonna take my time, and but it's not gonna be a long time, right? As you know, as by the caption or the title, it says, "Who the f did I marry?" And this is my perspective. And listening to uh, people, whether it was at work or in the different relationships um, that I have accumulated through being in the podcast space, I've come to an understanding for myself of the interesting part about this whole scenario and the Risa Tisa. I think that's how it goes, right? Some places it's Risa, and the Legion, as she called them. For those that don't know, Legion is in the Bible, and it's a uh, connotation or reference to demonic spirits, right? And so I'm assuming that's what she was referring to, but I don't know unless I ask her, right? And I haven't asked her. The takeaway that I have off jump is that she, I would say that she allowed. Let me back up. My initial position was that she brought this on herself. A lot of this could have been avoided with proper vetting techniques. Right? She was on a dating site and she was looking to meet someone. Obviously, she met someone and she found this guy attractive. Fine. But what were the questions that were taking place when they went out on their first date? I wonder. Of course, I don't know. And this guy, Legion, he had to have exhibited some form of his personality in the in the conversation. However, he did pay for her to he paid for a new tire, right? And so that at least showed her that he was willing to be somewhat of a provider, specifically in that moment, right? And so as a result of that, she was able to see that he was going to be somebody that is showing interest in her, and therefore she would reap the benefits of that. Now, when it comes to why I say she brought this on herself, is because, like I said previously, her vetting technique was off. And as I talked to some other women, they said, well, she was looking for love. Now, keep that in mind. She was looking for love. However, in looking for love, she did not take the proper steps in looking for love. The Bible tells us that he who finds a wife finds a good thing and finds favor from the Lord. So, that being said, the question I would wonder is, was she prepared to be a wife? Because looking for love and being a wife don't necessarily mean the exact same thing. One of the things that I took away and saw was that she allowed a man to live with her, and she hadn't even decided or come to an understanding or resolution or epiphany that she loved this guy. And well, her statement was that she allowed the guy to live with her because they were quarantining, right? And why would you allow a person that you don't know to live with you? Well, she even said it. She said because he was willing to pay for all the bills and she had never experienced anything like this before. And so she basically fell in love with what he could do and what he was doing for her. Once again, my position is that she brought a lot of this on herself. Now, she did say that she missed a lot of red flags, or maybe she did say she ignored a lot of red flags. Now, that would be something to be asked of her. Why would you ignore all of these red flags? The beginning one was that he said he wanted to live with you and pay your bills. Why would a man want to go live with a woman and pay her bills? What was his ulterior motive for doing that? Because guys do things for women um, for a particular reason and for a particular purpose. And sometimes that is good and sometimes that is not. So the question that would be pondering to me, that is pondering me, is what did he say to her for her to say, yes, that makes sense to me, for us to live together and you pay all the bills? I don't think that she brought that to the forefront of the conversation, which would be very good to have an understanding of. And two, like I said before, she did not love this man. So why would you allow a guy that you don't know, that you don't love, to say, you know what, I want him to pay all my bills within 2 weeks of knowing the guy? And what else? She never said what she did in exchange for him paying all of these bills. Because you mean to tell me that this guy is a pathological liar, but there was nothing that you did for him, right? So she enabled him to continue his lying practices. Because when she also came to the point of where what's the word I'm looking for? When the lie of how they met, right? That he experienced her, not experienced her, wrong word, but she was able to match with him on one site and then match with him on another site and a different name. He says this to her and she ignores that red flag. Or was there a conversation that she left out? But we're going to go with the information that she gave us. She said that she noticed it and then she just blew it off, basically. Then further on, he goes on and what did she do? She said that in the first video, she said that she enjoyed the premise of being able to not have to pay for anything and have her own money for herself. And he paid all the bills. So that alone lets you know that she was only in it for the benefits that she was receiving. Now, fast forward, he lies about the house that he was going to get, right? And she don't know all the process of buying a house, so I will give her that. However, she said, I knew he was lying, and she wanted to see what he would say. Once he lied, she accepted the lie and moved forward. Why? Because he was paying her bills. Once again, she's enabling him to continue his practice of lying. And so what I've found is when I've talked to a couple, specifically women, when I've talked to some women about this, they said, well, he still lied. Well, yes, he lied. But why are we absolving her of all the responsibility? When in more than anything, it would be, if I had to percentage it, it would be 80% on her. Right? 80% on her because he is a pathological liar. She sees it and then ignores it. She sees it and then ignores it. But she reaps the benefit of him being a pathological liar. And she knew that something was wrong with him. And she created a story and a narrative to say that she was a victim. When in fact, she brought brought all of this activity on herself because she wanted to be taken care of. And she enjoyed that feeling of what it felt like. Not only that, when she ended up getting pregnant, she decided, well, no, she didn't decide. What happened was she got pregnant and they had a miscarriage. Okay. And so she had to get, I believe it's a DNC. So she tells him about it. And he says, well, I have to go to work. That's another red flag. Why would you not take the mother of your child, and y'all live together? Why would you not take the mother of your child, although it's no longer there, to the hospital, especially if you have the mind frame of this about to be your wife? Right there, she had another opportunity to end ties with him. But because he was funding her lifestyle, if you will, she was okay with it. Not until later, right? And this is a bird's eye view that I'm giving you. Like, I'm looking at it from ground level. I'm not really deep diving like some people did. I think it's 5.5 hours of her talking and explaining her story, and all of that's fine. And I mean, it's the same thing I want to do. I want to tell my story. I want people to know about my story, and I want things to work out well for me, right? But I'm not trying to do it at the expense necessarily. Well, I'm not doing it at the expense of anybody. So the reason why I'm doing this take, my wife suggested it, one, and then I've seen and heard people really take her side when in fact I would say she's in the wrong, more so him, because she's the same one. And she literally says it. There was a question that was asked to her, I think on a live. The question was, did you love him? And she said, I love the things that he did for me, or what we could be together. I love the idea of what we could be together. Something to that result. If I'm wrong, please correct me. Okay. So I know, and I said this to some women I was talking to, I know that women who love, even though they were mistreated, will say they love that person, they love that guy, but he did her dirty or did her wrong. So even by that definition, she is saying that she did not love the dude, but she was willing to take from him. That is wrong, people. And as a byproduct, she has monetized on her playing the victim, when in fact she made him a victim. And as you go and look and listen to him, you can see that there's something that is kind of off with him. She even said it, that something was off with him. She even said that the family even said that he had been this way for a long time. He hadn't gotten help though, right? And so for those that are rocking with her, I really kind of don't understand why you would rock with her to say that she's in the right, or even applaud her, because this story happens to people, right? She may have been the first person to break it down in this sequence, in this order, but she has been applauded for something she brought on herself. Ain't that something? That's the world we live in. Applauding people for bringing harm to themselves. Now, she is not saying, from what I've gathered, that what she said was that she missed the red flags. True. But she did not say where she was wrong in the situation, from what I've seen or heard. Me telling you that I ignored red flags says that, you know what, I accepted what he was doing, or I accepted what she was doing, right? She didn't tell you that, you know what, I'm sorry that I should feel bad that I allow myself to move a man in knowing that my intentions were not right. She didn't say that. She has made people believe that somebody did her wrong, which he did, without her knowing that she was being done wrong. She knew that he was lying to her. And I'm talking about not in the beginning, but in the time that she found out, she did not stop giving. She did not stop the relationship. Even further, she decided to marry the guy. And then once he was unable to provide for her, that's when she was like, oh man, I don't want to be here. Or she found out some more things. And as she found out some more things, it was like, nah, I can't be here, which is okay, fine, right? But my question is, what was different about the front half than the back half as it relates to lies? Were the back lies, were the back lies better than the front lies? Or were the front lies better than the back lies? Like, so what created the point of I'm done? Because now you're married, and marriage is not it should not be taken lightly, which it seems to be in this situation, that it was taken lightly. And too often people take marriage lightly. Marriage is a covenant. Marriage is designed and ordained by God. Marriage is an institution that is designed to bring two people together to be one for the glorification of God. Outside of that, you operating it incorrectly. And both of them were operating it incorrectly. But I put 80% on her because she was not in it for the right reasons. And that's my take, and that's my perspective. All right. So until next time, we out here. Deuces. Tell me what you think. You agree? You disagree with me? I'm okay with it. Deuces.
The boy is dangerous.
Bad feeling about this.
You don't seem to understand something.
The thing that I like most about being a dad is that I see them about to impact the world.